Phil who?
Phil Light.
Yeah, someone fixed this, that's good.
I have a bunch of names for tonight for the people who have deceased.
All right.
Good evening and welcome to the Tibet Center at 502 North Ridgewood Road, South Orange, New Jersey. So we will begin by saying the prayer for the spreading of the teachings throughout the length and breadth of the West, which you will find in the FAQ section scrolling down on the Tibet Center's website. By the force of the blessings of the non-fallacious three precious gems and of the truth of our pure selfless wishes, may the precious Buddhist teachings flourish and spread to the expanse of all areas throughout the length and breadth of the West. For all the people living there together with their near ones who have engaged in the teachings and have faith and respect for them, may all conditions adverse to their practice of the pure Dharma be dispelled, and an excellent collection of favorable conditions increase like the waxing moon. And especially for those who work on methods to accomplish the flourishing and spreading of the victorious one's teachings, which are the source of benefit and happiness, may they never be oppressed by masses of interference and adverse conditions, and may this spontaneously happen just as we have hoped and wished. The Heart Sutra. Thus have I heard once, the Blessed One was dwelling in the royal domain of the Vulture Peak Mountain, together with a big gathering of great monks and great bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One entered the Samadhi, which examines the Dharmas, called profound illumination. And at the same time, noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, looking at the profound practice of transcendent knowledge, saw the five skandhas in their natural emptiness. Then, through the inspiration of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to Avalokiteshvara, "How should those noble ones learn who wish to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge?" And Avalokiteshvara answered, "Venerable Shariputra, whoever wishes to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge should look at it like this, seeing the five skandhas in their natural emptiness. Form is empty, emptiness itself is form. Emptiness is not separate from form, form is not separate from emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discriminating awareness, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Thus, all the dharmas are empty and have no characteristics. They are unborn and unceasing. They are not impure or pure. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, since there is emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discriminating awareness, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no tasting, no sensation, no objects of mind, no quality of sight, no quality of hearing, no quality of smelling, no quality of tasting, no quality of sensing, no quality of thought, no quality of mind consciousness. There are no nidanas from ignorance, nor their wearing out. There is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no ending of suffering, and no path, no wisdom, no attainment, no non-attainment. Therefore, since there is no attainment, the bodhisattvas abide by means of transcendent knowledge. And since there is no obscurity of mind, they have no fear, they transcend falsity and pass beyond the bounds of sorrow. All the Buddhas who dwell in the past, present, and future, by means of transcendent knowledge, fully and clearly awaken to unsurpassed, true, complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of transcendent knowledge, the mantra of deep insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering should be known as truth, for there is no deception. In transcendent knowledge, the mantra is proclaimed. Tadyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha. O Shariputra, this is how a Bodhisattva Mahasattva should learn profound transcendent knowledge. Then the Blessed One arose from that samadhi and praised the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, saying, Good, good, O son of noble family, profound transcendent knowledge should be practiced just as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara, that whole gathering in the world with its gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, their hearts full of joy, praised the words of the Blessed One. Now we generate bodhicitta. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Okay, so let us recite Om Mani Padme Hum. We'll do one rosary and imagine developing the wish to remove the suffering of all sentient beings. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. So, we have been discussing Beyond Religion, Ethics for a Whole World by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And we have been recently discussing the methods for removing afflictive emotions. We've been engaging in meditations, but we last week we were on page 176, 177, dealing with afflictive attitudes and emotions. And in this meditation, one is meant to identify a particular afflictive emotion that afflicts one, and work at identifying it, seeing how it operates, seeing how the steps, the process by which it overwhelms one, and thereby recognize the negative aspects of it and apply the antidote to it. So those 3 steps we went through, and I would suggest that we go over them carefully now and do this meditation again, because last week the afflictions that we were meant to deal, we were meant to identify the particular afflictive emotion that we felt most overwhelmed by. And if it was anger, if it was different aspects of anger, if it was attachment, if it was lethargy, whatever it was, we were meant to identify and then work on the process of watching how this particular affliction operates, takes us over, affects ourselves, our minds, our demeanor, and our environment, the people around us, and then apply the antidote, the thoughts which work at diminishing the hold, the power of that particular affliction. So, as it said here, though we may have a predominant affliction, we are all the victims of all these afflictions. And so we can choose another. So let me just find, I wrote some notes here. So, under anger, there are these subcategories of irritation, agitation, hostility, temper, and then under envy, there is jealousy, intolerance of others' success. Under attachment, there's desire, there's craving, there's greed, there's lust. And then there's indifference, and there's also the inability to connect with others. So these are the different afflictions that His Holiness lays out here. So whatever you chose last time, choose something else tonight. So we all, I don't know, we all are anger, agitation, hostility, a hot temper. We all are victims of that from time to time. But jealousy or intolerance of others' success may be something that sometimes takes us over. And in the attachment, desire, craving, greed, lust, we can identify with. So choose, and as I said last week, if you are so fortunate that the main affliction that you feel is indifference, and if you dealt with that before, you have all these other ones that you can deal with tonight. So, choose your affliction, and we start by watching the breath, calming ourselves down, and this is bringing the mind and the breath together. When the mind and the breath connect, that in itself calms us down. Then, once we've done that, we reflect on the destructive effects of the emotion that the affliction that we've chosen. Now, affliction, to afflict means to harm. So an afflictive emotion is an emotion that harms us. So we analyze how the affliction afflicts us, what the destructive properties are of the negative emotion. And as I say, don't limit it just to yourself. See how it overwhelms you, how it upsets all your calm, and how it affects the world around you, the people around you. It creates a negative mood. It spoils the atmosphere. Everything changes when we become consumed by anger. We find that we react in horrible ways. We can lose control over our speech, so that we speak in ways that hurt others. So this meditation, we have to really think about these things and come to see how monstrous, how horrible, how terrible anger is. The deeper we feel these things, the more we're able to hold back. This awareness, this deep awareness of the negative effects of the affliction, helps us develop the caution, the vigilance that's necessary to counter the affliction as it arises. Because remember, something like anger pops up before we're able to even think about it. It just consumes us. So an aspect of seeing the way, an aspect of developing a mastery over these afflictions is recognizing the way in which we are overwhelmed by something like anger, the way in which when we find ourselves confronted, provoked, whatever, the effect that it has on us physically, the effect that it has on us emotionally. The more we're able to identify those things, the more we're able to catch ourselves. But we also, in our meditation, have to really familiarize ourselves with, acknowledge the negative aspects of anger, the negative aspects of attachment, the negative aspects of whatever the affliction we're talking about is. The more we're able to really identify the negative aspects, the more we're able to actually have the vigilance necessary to hold ourselves back. So that first step of really recognizing or the negative aspects of these afflictions is essential. And then we have to apply the antidote. If it's anger, the antidote is patience or forbearance. If it's hatred or hatred, it's loving kindness. If we find that it's attachment, if it's an object or a car, for example, really identifying the flaws in it, the impermanent nature of the car that causes us that will cause us that will, what would you say, annoy us in the future. Whatever we can hold on to whatever faults we can identify will diminish our attachment, our desire. Okay, so let us begin with the breathing. So sit as straight with your back as straight as possible. You really want the spine to be like, bricks going up. Things that you tuck the chin in slightly. You look down the slant of your nose. His Holiness here says if you wear glasses, keep your glasses on. You don't have your arms sticking out nor uptight against you, with your right hand on your left hand, with your thumbs touching, resting your hands on your thighs, or your arms on your thighs with your hands touching. Okay, and so to begin with, whether you want to watch at the point where the air goes into your nostrils, or if you want to watch your abdomen go in and out as you breathe. But as I've said before, this is not a breathing exercise, it's watching the breath. You are simply bringing the mind and the breath together. Okay, we'll do this for 2 minutes. Okay. So I was taught that when we do this, we should, as we breathe in and breathe out, count 1. In, out, 2. In, out, 3. And if in the process our mind has left the breath, we start over at 1. We work towards getting up to 21. When we've gotten to 21, we start over with 1. And I don't know that I've reached 21 very often. So once we've done that, choose your affliction, analyze the way it afflicts, the negative aspects of it, and work towards analyzing it to the point where you really feel you could hold yourself back from it. You can develop the vigilance that can identify it. So it shouldn't just be a superfluous, oh, that's a negative thing. You have to really feel how the negative aspects of the afflictive emotion. So we'll start with that. Okay. So the second is really recognizing the mechanics by which this affliction takes us over. We particularly look at the onset of the affliction, how the process by which we are taken over. We are working at being able to recognize it before it overwhelms us. So the more we can identify the mechanics of it, the more we can hold ourselves back before it actually takes us over. So analyze the mechanics of the affliction as it takes you over. Okay, so once you've really acknowledged the mechanics, the method by which you proceed towards being overwhelmed by the affliction, you apply the antidote. So if it's anger, you really think about patience. You counter the effect of anger by considering patience. And here you use analytical meditation, and then once you've reached a conclusion, you place your mind on it, and then you resort to analysis again, and then you place your mind on the result. So you're going back and forth as you apply whatever the antidote is for your particular affliction. Okay. So we are cured of 2 afflictions. Would you like to discuss?
I think a lot of the afflictions overlap. So one antidote for one affliction might also work for another one. If you go further, deeper into the analysis, almost like a psychological reflection of what's going on.
A universal antidote.
Not universal.
Impermanence goes close. It goes both.
Impermanence, also bodhicitta.
Yeah,
Bodhicitta.
It is not.
So-
Or loving kindness, maybe before bodhicitta, loving kindness is probably better.
So, when we are dealing with attachment, it's really analyzing and seeing the negative, what attachment does to us. I mean, keeps us up at night, makes us overwhelmed with thoughts of whatever the object is of attachment. And so, the antidote is not bodhicitta, it's not loving kindness, it's really analyzing the negative results of attachment. It's recognizing and really scrutinizing the flaws in whatever it is that we are attached to.
I think if you take it one step further, so for example, if I'm attached to something, I become obsessed, I want something to be perfect. But then I'm like, why am I doing that? And I go one step further and I'm like, maybe I'm missing something in my life. And that's why I have this obsession. And then I realize, oh, maybe, it goes back to when I was a child, I didn't get the proper love and affection from my parents. And that's why I have this constant need to go after something, this grasping. So if I then meditate on loving kindness, then I'm like, oh, I feel much better, and I don't have this other external need, if you will. So.
Okay.
Blame the parents.
But that's later. So I understand what you're saying. So initially, no, I'm not blaming. Initially, it's karma. It's karma. It's all karma. Initially, it is that you see the negative aspects of attachment, of course, but then if you go a little deeper and you start to analyze psychologically, why is that happening? And you can maybe, everybody's different, so that's sort of what I came up with.
Is everybody subject to the 12 links of interdependent causation?
Is everybody subject to?
Yeah. All ordinary beings.
You mean, can some of us skip 1 or 2 of the links?
Well, I mean, I've always felt like if I studied that in more detail, a lot of this would become much clearer.
And which links would you be skipping?
Death.
All right,
Oh, I mean,
okay.
Why not? What the hell?
In the process of studying, or
Well, no, working towards the 12 links.
No, I mean that if you that my sense is studying that and understanding the process
Yes.
is a description of how we keep revolving in samsara,
Okay.
and then the real antidote is the reversal of that.
Mm-hmm.
If you can make that work, what do you think of that? The real antidote is reversal.
Yeah,
The 12
that's correct.
dependent rising.
How
So,
do you reverse them?
reversing it, really knowing the method by which we go from link to link. Do you know the links, the 12 links?
More
So
or
we're
less.
starting with death and going backward.
Start with ignorance.
Start with ignorance.
The first link is ignorance.
Okay.
Karma.
Action.
Action.
But I thought we were gonna reverse the process.
So
Yeah.
you first have to develop familiarity with the process,
Yes.
and then you go about countering the effect of each. 'Cause- But here we're dealing more with sort of the raw, countering anger, countering, attachment, countering these sort of raw emotions that overwhelm us. I think it's more sort of nitty-gritty what we're talking about.
12 links.
No,
Painful
tonight.
aspect, and we're not happy when we're screaming mad.
The affliction of anger, what we do about that, that's what we're struggling with now. Attachment, desire, or jealousy. We have all these things that take us over, and we are the victims of it without realizing it. They pop up. And so the only way in which you can develop the ability to control them or not be the victim of them is to really see how they operate. And the mere process of analyzing how they operate will begin to diminish their effect on us. That's a really important aspect, just seeing how they operate. Acknowledging that we are the victim of anger or attachment or whatever, and then seeing how it operates. And then, if our affliction is desire for things, and there are a lot of people, I think that in our culture today, consumerism and this sort of need to satisfy ourselves by acquiring can really overwhelm us. It's not a superficial, negligible thing. It's something that really people, I think, find themselves so unhappy that that's how they.
Advertising makes us think it's virtuous to go grab things and take care of yourself, and so of course, you deserve it. I mean, it actually sinks in.
So seeing how each time we do that, we make it easier to do it again, and we are less satisfied by what we acquire. And really analyzing that process, we begin to develop some kind of control over it.
It's not pleasant to want something and not have it constantly. And then when you get it, you want again. You still want. So it doesn't eliminate the wanting. There's something strange going on. I blame the parents.
Well, let's say you wanna have hot water, and you only have cold water for your shower and so on. So then you get the hot water. It doesn't mean that you want something different, then you just, it ceases to be
That's different.
a goal or an object or a craving.
So I think that there are sort of basic needs. And with the evolution of our culture, hot water has become a basic need. But there are other things that we find that we become very attached to. But, hot water can become... I have to wait a little bit for the
Overwhelmingly desirable.
Yeah, we have to
hot
wait.
water.
Right, that's right.
And
Yeah,
I go to some sort of fancy houses, and you turn on the tap, and hot water comes out.
Oh, I know.
Now, if I find myself really angry at the fact that hot water isn't coming right out of my tap,
Even boiling water comes out of the tap.
Yeah, because they have it on a high temperature, always burning.
That's right, that's
That's not
some of these
ecological.
fancy places. Not like mine.
Certain places in India, you're gonna wait a long time.
You
But
went
it's
to
hot
that,
anyway,
yes,
so
yes,
okay.
yes.
Years.
Sponge baths.
But once you have it, it ceases to become something that's important, and you take it for granted
I
and
think
go on then you crave something else.
these things, afflictions, they take over the mind. Is that the problem with them? So you
Yes,
can't,
that's right.
they're running the show, and then
Mhm.
that's not why we were born. We're in this human life to be banged around like this. No good.
But, we can get to a point where we are feeling terribly frustrated by the fact that we aren't able to get the bucket of water to have the bath.
That's right. A bucket of water to bathe in, a bucket of cold water to bathe in,
To drink.
any water.
Welcome to Gaza.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's attachment, anger. When things don't go our way, the way in which we are.
Good face, Nicky. That camera didn't work. That's anger. That's a good one.
So I find that point that we have to contemplate the negative aspects of the affliction to the point where we really we develop an awareness, and we can thereby be vigilant in respect to that particular affliction. That's really important. That because we don't have awareness. We tend to think that these afflictions are natural, and they take us over without thinking. And so to develop that awareness is the method by which we get a step ahead of it, see it, having identified the negative properties of it, and hold ourselves from indulging it totally.
That's right, we think they're natural.
Think of people who say, "Oh, I really have a bad temper. Stay away from me in the morning until I've had my coffee," or whatever it is.
Okay. I got no problem with that. I'll do the whole day if you want.
But people really feel that
Yeah.
this is their natural.
Yes.
So we all do that to a certain extent. Here we realize that we have the power to actually change that. That's pretty exciting.
Yes.
We should really, it really is. I think. But he does not think.
No, he doesn't have the power to change.
Yes,
He's not that concerned about hot water.
He's not concerned. No, but I assure you that he likes to go out every morning, and if it's a rainy day, he looks out
He's upset. He doesn't go out in the
and he
rain.
comes in.
He's a smart cat.
Well, you don't like it when he makes a mess when he's all wet. You put him in the basement or something.
He doesn't want to go out though.
No, he doesn't go out in the
It
rain.
rains, he's a smart cat, he doesn't go out. Can't find his umbrella. so
But the
hell.
desire to go out before it rains, he's jumping on the door. He's so excited at the prospect of. But he can't do anything about it. He's a total victim of his whatever pops up in his mind. And so it's really important for us with that ability to apply it. So, I feel that it's worth sort of dwelling on this, and I sort of went over this again this week because I think, we really have so many afflictions, and the more we familiarize ourselves with the different afflictions, the more we can really work work on them. 'Cause this is really what spiritual practice is, and developing, we've sat here together and focused our minds on these things, and you'll find that the mind goes off in a different, in this direction or that direction. And we have to really develop the ability to keep our minds on what it is that we're trying to focus on. And that's not easy.
Well, maybe this is a hard one, a very hard one, but you have mentioned in the far past that there were times in the monastery when you had no water at all.
Yeah.
At that point, I guess everybody was thinking about, I wish I had some water for one, all the way down.
Mhm.
Now, how do you overcome, I mean, yes, you try to get the water, but how do you overcome that kind of, well, it's like a emotional or somatic need
Not an affliction.
that you wish you had? Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's not an affliction.
Well, it's very natural for human beings to want to have water to drink.
So, I don't know.
But I mean, how do you work on that?
Well, if taking Shantidevas, if you can do something about it, do it, and don't worry, and don't get frustrated. And if you can't do anything about it, don't get frustrated. So in a monastery where there are certain limitations to what you can do about things, if you can't do anything about it, you try to develop a certain contentment with your present situation. And
Well,
Yeah, but aren't you fighting it all the time?
Yeah,
Gee, I
this is-
wish I
this
had
actually
some water
happens.
for,
well, if you
10, 20 different reasons.
yeah, and we have to set up a system of what's it called, parsing,
Rationing.
Yeah.
water. We have, we found some money to dig a bore well
Right.
to have a windmill.
Uh-huh.
And first we had a hand pump like
Yeah.
that, and then we had a windmill. And then I remember one year I went away and I was on the second floor, the top floor of the building, the original Ratu building. And it was very difficult to pump water, but when it rained, there was one monk who had somehow blocked the flow of water into the gutter on the roof and saved this water.
Yes.
And I came back from wherever I had been, and I walked into my room. In my room, it was as if it was raining in the room. And I thought, what's going on here? My bed was all wet. The
Yeah.
little carpet in front of the bed was wet. Everything was wet. The whole room was damp. And I went upstairs, and I saw that the water had been blocked,
Yes.
and it was just seeping through the... and so I unblocked it, and whoosh, all the water went. And this monk came running up to my room and barged in a fury and said, "What have you done?" And then I said, "Look." And he saw that my room was sopping wet. And then he felt terribly because he had blocked the water,
Sure.
causing...
To benefit everybody else, though.
You weren't the abbot then,
No,
No, otherwise we would dare come up to you.
this was back when we were in the old house.
When we all-
I hope that the new house would...
But
Wouldn't
that you must
leak
have,
that way.
but still
But it
there's got to be
happens.
this overwhelming sort of craving from, that you wish the water were all right.
I wish the water were all right from right here where I have plenty of water. I'm very concerned about water in the settlements in the south.
But how can we work on that with mind training? Are we looking at something that's too big for us?
You calm down and fix the situation. Marianne misses a meal once in a while because of food things, so they put their heads together and ensure they have regular meals. Affliction.
Action. Okay.
It
All right.
It makes
Okay.
the outer world,
Okay.
but
All right.
we're talking about the inner world,
All right, you're talking about an action.
which runs the whole show. the inner world.
That you need action aside from what you can work out through your own system.
If you're calmer, do you think better?
I don't know, people who don't have water really want it.
No, it's interesting because if you were to take someone who was used to having running hot water like that and everything, and you put them in a situation where water is more sparse, they really suffer. But if you
Okay.
put someone who,
Good point, good point.
you know, when you go through the little villages in India, from the settlement to like the big city of Hubli, and you see people standing in line with their buckets and their jugs and
Yeah,
whatever, and there's an hour a day when the pump, the electric bore well, is pumping water, and they all have, they all get their water and they carry it home, and that's a normal sight. I mean, it used to be that they all took turns to pump the water like that. That's the way it is. Very
That's
few
part of
people
the
have.
lifestyle, then.
Yeah, but that lifestyle, you become accustomed to. And it shows you that the let's say standards of difficulty are subjective, not objective.
So those people don't feel it as a lack?
No, but I'm sure that they're very happy when they have running water. It's very exciting.
But do they ever have running water?
They might go to they might go to the town of Mungod and go and have a meal, and the place where they wash their hands, there's a sink, and
Or they
the
go
water
to a
comes-
lake, or there's a waterfall or something, right? In India?
They're not there.
Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah, asking a lot.
anyway. These are.
So that was a digression then.
Sorry.
Into how- That was a digression, that was not addressing the issues that you've been presenting about overcoming the afflictions.
Well, we can identify, if we have attachment, and our attachment is to running water and
Yes.
all the amenities of
Yes.
sort of modern living.
Yes.
Becoming accustomed to or thinking about our good fortune,
Yes.
thinking about these things begins to change the dynamic slightly.
Okay.
Yeah?
But I think on following your train of thought, I think we're born attached to things just for survival.
Yeah, of course.
So that's sort of our nature, so it's there's a difference between survival and wanting something because you want something excessive
Well, people have a craving to wash though.
to wash.
Yeah, well, once in a while, people have a craving that,
To drink too.
Yeah, that's more a compulsion.
But those standards of living, even washing, in Tibet you washed, a couple of times in a lifetime. And
Some people think there is a Tibet here. On the train,
and they do it because there is no, opportunity to wash, and so it's become part of the custom, the culture, whatever.
They adapt.
Yeah, happily. And they adapt when they come to South India and it's hot and they wash every day.
Yes.
it's not too below.
And, you have to say, with the monks at Ratu, I would say, You have to wash your body. You have to wash your clothes. It's really important to wash both.
That's right.
And you have to really, when you come to a new environment, you have to really adapt. And
But survival is a samsaric concern. Is it not?
so I don't. Yes, thank you. I think we can say it's a natural concern. It's an instinct, even.
Instinct.
Survival. Here, so we have.
So that's intrinsic to this particular bodily and instinct.
Darren?
Yeah.
You put, what's he called?
Recollection is-
Tony. Darren?
Yeah.
Tony, the person who I said had just died recently, Tony, who had given to the Tibet Center.
Bashar, yeah, Tony Bashar.
Okay, so we used to have water cuts in Fiji. Aradhana. Hello, Aradhana. We used to have water cuts in Fiji. I had to take a tub of dishes outside,
It's here in the bottle.
and here we drink
We drink
Fiji water. Yes. We collected water in buckets to where we washed dishes. Sometimes we took our clothes to the river to wash. It was fun, but washing dishes for hours after school wasn't fun. Yes, hours. That's a lot of dishes. It's, I mean, you watch people washing clothes by the river or at a well. Or,
Guatemala, yeah.
yeah, we are very fortunate in our culture. Darren, have you? So. So we've been asked to pray for Tony Bashar, George Wendt,
He acted in this show Cheers.
Oh, cheers, that's, yeah.
Niels Henrik, Sarah Davis, Punta
Punta the cat.
and Scout, and the boyfriend of a friend of mine called Philippe. So we will read the Sutra of the Recollection of the Noble Three Jewels, where we're recollecting the qualities of the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And this recollection we are then dedicating to these people who have recently passed away. I prostrate to the Omniscient One. Thus the Buddha, Bhagavad, Tathagata, Arhat, Samyak Sambuddha, the learned and virtuous one, the Sugata, the knower of the world, the charioteer and tamer of beings, the unsurpassable one, the teacher of devas and humans is the Buddha Bhagavad. The Tathagata is in accord with all merit. He does not waste the roots of virtue. He is completely ornamented with all patience. He is the basis of the treasures of merit. He is adorned with the minor marks. He blossoms with the flowers of the major marks. His activity is timely and appropriate. Seeing him is without disharmony. He brings true joy to those who long with faith. His knowledge cannot be overpowered. His strength cannot be challenged. He is the teacher of all sentient beings. He is the father of bodhisattvas. He is the king of noble ones. He is the guide of those who journey to the city of Nirvana. He possesses immeasurable wisdom. He possesses inconceivable confidence. His speech is completely pure. His melody is pleasing. One never has enough of seeing him. His form is incomparable. He is not stained by the realm of desire. He is not stained by the realm of form. He is not affected by the formless realm. He is completely liberated from suffering. He is completely and utterly liberated from the skandhas. He is not possessed with dhatus. His ayatanas are controlled. He has completely cut the knots. He is completely liberated from extreme torment. He is liberated from craving. He has crossed over the river. He is perfected in all the wisdoms. He abides in the wisdom of the Buddha Bhagavats who arise in the past, present, and future. He does not abide in nirvana. He abides in the ultimate perfection. He dwells on the bhumi where he sees all sentient beings. All these are the perfect virtues of the greatness of the Buddha Bhagavat. The holy Dharma is good at the beginning, good in the middle, and good at the end. Its meaning is excellent. Its words are excellent. It is uncorrupted. It is completely perfect and completely pure. It completely purifies. The Bhagavat teaches the Dharma well. It brings complete vision. It is free from sickness. It is always timely. It directs one further. Seeing it fulfills one's purpose. It brings discriminating insight for the wise. The Dharma which is taught by the Bhagavad is revealed properly in the Vinaya. It is renunciation. It causes one to arrive at perfect enlightenment. It is without contradiction. It is pithy. It is trustworthy and puts an end to the journey. As for the Sangha of the great Yana, they enter completely, they enter insightfully, they enter straightforwardly, they enter harmoniously. They are worthy of veneration with joined palms. They are worthy of receiving prostration. They are a field of glorious merit. They are completely capable of receiving all gifts. They are an object of generosity. They are a great object of complete generosity. The protector who possesses great kindness, the omniscient teacher, the basis of oceans of merit and virtue. I prostrate to the Tathagata, pure, the cause of freedom from passion, virtuous, liberating from the lower realms. This alone is the supreme ultimate truth. I prostrate to the Dharma, which is peace. Having been liberated, they show the path to liberation. They are fully dedicated to the disciplines. They are obedient to merit and possess virtue. I prostrate to the Sangha. I prostrate to the Buddha, the leader. I prostrate to the Dharma, the protector. I prostrate to the Sangha, the community. I prostrate respectfully and always to these three. The Buddha's virtues are inconceivable. The Dharma's virtues are inconceivable. The Sangha's virtues are inconceivable. Having faith in these inconceivables, therefore their fruitions are inconceivable. May they be born in a completely pure world. Let's read the 8 verses on training the mind. With the determination to accomplish the highest welfare of all sentient beings who surpass even a wish-granting jewel, I will learn to hold them supremely dear. Whenever I associate with others, I will learn to think of myself as the lowest amongst all, and respectfully hold others to be supreme from the very depths of my heart. In all actions I will learn to search into my mind, and as soon as a determined emotion arises, in myself and others, I will firmly face and avert it. I will learn to cherish ill-natured beings, and those oppressed by strong misdeeds and sufferings, as if I had found a precious treasure difficult to find. When others out of jealousy treat me badly, with abuse, slander, and so on, I will learn to take all loss and offer the victory to them. When the one whom I have benefited with great hope unreasonably hurts me very badly, I will learn to view that person as an excellent spiritual guide. In short, I will learn to offer to everyone without exception all help and happiness directly and indirectly, and respectfully take upon myself all harm and suffering of my mothers. I will learn to keep all these practices undefiled by the things of the 8 worldly concerns, and by understanding all phenomena as life illusions, be released from the bondage of attachment. And now a prayer for the swift return of Trungpa Rinpoche. Exalted wisdom of all victors gathered in a drop, sole refuge manifest in the form of the one wearing saffron robes, Guru Lobsang Tu Wang Doje Chan. Please bear witness here today that our prayers may be fulfilled. we beseech the great torch of doctrine, accomplishing from long ago the vast waves of aspirational prayers. Lord, speak to the victor Losang's teachings, spreading them to the ends of the earth by means of explanation and practice. Though holding the commitment, I will invite all beings to be my guests in unsurpassed great awakening. Yet I have withdrawn the activities of the form body that serves the welfare of others. It is worthy of the supreme among beings, the Bodhisattvas, though impossible for you till cyclic existence end, to abandon your commitment to enlighten all beings who receive the Son of Brahmanakaya, to swiftly return from the realm of Dharmakaya, brought forth by bodhicitta drawn by 7 steeds. Having reached the far limits of scholarship, religious life, and goodness, please come swiftly as an unrivaled supreme emanation, full holder of the sage's teachings and wish-fulfilling jewel. Return as the glory of Losang Tenebe, magnificent truth of the 3 precious jewels, Mahakala, Karmayana, and Sri Bhakti Devi, the ocean of Dharma projectors. May you spontaneously fulfill our wish, the swift blossoming of the reincarnation's fresh moonlight face. Thank you. So next we will have class in New York City next Monday.
Memorial Day, they're open.
Sorry?
Are they open? It's Memorial Day.
Oh, so please check. We will have to.
Yeah. Aaron? Yeah. Is the center in the city open on Memorial Day? I'll check.
Please check our website for information about next Monday. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.
Thank you, KHENSUR.